What up, boys, and welcome back to another video. So I'm really excited about this one because we just hit gold cap, the new gold cap of 10 million gold. As you guys can see by my bag, I can't even withdraw any gold from the auction house because my bags are full. So I'm really excited. Now when it comes to the time that I spent, this was a challenge I started like way back in WoD because WoD wasn't exactly the best expansion. So a lot of people were farming gold, including me. I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, I decided to go for the 10 million gold even before we knew that the 10 million gold cap was coming, I believe. And we started off like pretty slow-ish in WoD, but it was good back in WoD. We mostly did farms such as battle pets. We farmed emerald whelplings, bronze whelpling, crimson whelpling, the asher whelpling, so all type of whelplings, and a couple of other pets such as the Filfling and Psalmstrong. We made a fortune on fireflies too, and some different raid pets from Garrison and so on. Now, the reason why I didn't continue doing this like after my first 5 million is because, well, simply explained, the new loot system kind of screwed it over. You know, in the pre-patch of Legion, Blizzard implemented this new loot system where up to 5 people could go into a group, and they didn't even have to attack the mobs, but they would still be able to loot the mobs. So, and everyone would have personal loot. So what everyone, including myself, did was create a 5-man group, just kill those mobs. They were like on a forced respawn timer, and you will get a ton of pets per hour. And people didn't really have that much else to do, so a lot of people were gold farming, so a lot of people was doing this. Some people collected the pets for themselves, but most of the people did this to sell the pets for profit, you know, to prepare for Legion. And I don't blame them. That's what I was working on too. And we also made a fortune on the Garrison. Not a big secret. We were all making a lot of gold on Garrison. I had maximum amount of characters, and I did Garrison on all my tunes every single day. I didn't go in depth and do all the professionals and so on, but I logged on and I just did the follower missions every day, and we made millions on it. We did. But that was also nerfed when they removed the gold missions from Garrison. They changed around the missions a bit, and also the salvage bags, they changed those too. So you can make gold in Garrison. Like there's a lot of people making gold in Garrison, but you have to do it alternative ways of making gold with Garrison. It requires a bit more work than just logging into your tune and using a master plan to complete and start new missions. And we also did a lot of transmog items. I mean, everyone and your mom was farming transmog items, and it was really good. It was really good because, first of all, the people were farming transmog items because they had nothing to do, and some people farmed it for themselves. Some people farmed them to get gold, and a lot of people bought these transmog items because they wanted to transmog their tunes, like get completely new sets and so on. I guess they were bored because it was a big thing, a really big thing. Now, the problem with a lot of people wanting transmog and a lot of people farming transmog is people will eventually get their items, so they're going to sell off all the other items they don't need as well. And everything was over farmed. Like, it was really good in a certain time in WoD, but now in Legion, the market is just overflooded with transmog items. Prices has gone down, and also you don't sell it as frequently. That at least applies on the realm that I play on, and a couple of my friends' realm also. So I'm not sure if this is a global thing, but I've noticed that I sell less transmog. I used to sell like 50, like when I sold 50 transmog items in a certain period of time, I now sell like 10 transmog items in that period of time. And it's really hard to sell weapons, like if you got the Jinsu sword and the Bone Vault Breaker and so on. Like it's really hard to move those weapon transmog items because people use artifact weapon. They would rather go and try and get a cool skin that they've never seen before, like because it was implemented in Legion, than to go and hunt for like a Jinsu sword. Or even buy a Jinsu sword. So weapons as well, I can barely move them. Haven't sold any transmog weapons since Legion. Besides, I sold a staff, I believe, but that's basically it. And we also farmed a lot of materials in WoD, but it was mostly like old content materials which people used to craft transmog items and. Well, as I explained right now, transmog items went down, so did the materials. The prices they were still stable, and they even went up in some cases, but the average sales per day are like the sell rate is just horrible. People don't buy them really. They will buy them, but it's gonna take you months to sell it. And we did a lot of class-specific farms, which is still viable to this day. We're talking about the dices with a rogue. If you guys haven't checked out the dices, you can check them out in my videos. I made a video about every single dice. Now the thing is though, they nerfed server hop, Blizzard nerfed server hop in the pre-patch, and they did it in the way that you had to be in the same zone as the leader in order to face onto that realm. So items that required server hop went up in price, and dices is a good point in that. An example, sorry. And people also need these dices more because there's rewards of getting like 300 toys to get a mount, so people want to get every single toy in the game. So the dices in general has gone up in price, and they sell even faster. So I've already made a video on like the forgotten gold farms that we used to do that people aren't doing anymore. Well, some people are, and they're making a fucking fortune on it. And also Seal Tomb of Lost Legion, like people were server hopping that too. It's really hard to get it if you don't server hop. Well, it should be hard, right? But nobody's doing it. So I have my warlock still camped on the island, and I just log in every now and then, like before work and before I go to bed, and I just circle around the island, and sometimes I can kill every single elite on the island because there's nobody there. So the price is of course also higher on the Seal Tomb of Lost Legion. These are, however, like do class specific farms, so you need to have a rogue for the dices and you need to have a warlock for the tomb. Now there's some other farms, some miscellaneous farms that I did before, like at my first 5 million. The reason why I always talk about my first 5 million is because I made 5 million in WoD and the last 5 million in Legion, by the way. Sorry, I forgot to say that part. But yeah, like giant dinosaur bones, so you need 10,000 bones for a mount. People still need mounts. People are coming back to the game that don't have the mounts, and you can farm it really fast. The mobs used to be level 100, no, level 90 elites, and you can kill them really fast right now. You could kill them fast in the WoD too, but nothing compared to how fast you can kill them now, and you can basically have the island for yourself. And then you have items such as the battery tilt, but then again it's a weapon, but it still sells, it still sells. And the last 5 million that I earned in Legion was it went pretty fast. It took me like 22 weeks to go from 1 million to, well, 1 million, 0 gold to 10 million. And I believe I averaged like 200,000 gold a week in WoD. I mean, some weeks were 150,000, some weeks were 400,000. But in Legion, I believe I averaged like 1 million gold. Yeah, like probably like 800,000 gold, and I farmed way less. Like back in WoD, I believe I farmed like 3 hours on average every single day. In Legion, I farmed 2 hours average every single day. I mean, the gold per hour is just so insane. It's like this every single expansion. You can go and pick up flowers, you can go and mine, and you can get like 100,000 gold per hour. I did a farming session. The longest farming session I ever did actually in Legion was 8 hours, and I made 500,000 gold just picking up flowers. Like it's really sick. So yeah, I made like 1 million gold, and the things I sold in Legion are really basic. You guys can go back into my weekly upload videos on this challenge and see in the description everything I sold. But it was basically just materials and some world drop epics, but materials in general. Like I started off doing herbalism. I got rank 3 Ephraim to get the extra procs, which is, by the way, now nerfed, so there's no point in doing it. We can talk more about that later on in a different video, but I did herbalism. Prices were really, they weren't peaking, you know, they weren't at the highest, but I still made like 70,000 gold per hour. And then I moved over to skinning. Skinning was way better. I managed to push around 80-90,000 gold. Then skinning hit a nerf in the amount of materials you got, so I went to mining. A mined fell slate, made a killing on that. And then raids were coming out and people had to get flasks and elixirs and so on, so I went back to herbalism. I sold Starlight Rose for 300 gold each. I made like 80 to 100,000 gold per hour doing that. I should have just done it like for 8 hours a day, and I would have made like 800,000 gold a day, and I would have had like many gold caps. But then again, Legion was a really fun expansion for me. It still is a fun expansion, and even though I like gold farming, there's so many appealing things to me. I want to do World Quest, Mythic Plus, Raid, and all of that. So I haven't really focused on just gold farming. In the end, I started gold farming because I enjoyed it, right? I didn't enjoy anything else. But yeah, like the way I made 10 million gold, like easily explained, is I did a lot of research. I did a lot of research. I saw what was trending and I went and farmed it. And you're not gonna make 10 million gold just finding that one secret spot and grinding it over and over again. There is no. A lot of you guys are probably watching this video and you want to hear like the best possible way to obtain gold, and there is no such thing as the best way to obtain gold. You just have to keep on farming. If you don't sell stuff in your auction house, don't get depressed. Just go on, continue farm more stuff, and the more stuff you have in your auction house, the more items you're gonna sell, and the more gold you're gonna bring in. A lot of people, they go in and try out a spot and it's probably like an RNG spot. They're not lucky at first, so they give up and they go back to farming something steady or something like raw gold, and it's not really bringing in the bucks they want to see. So my tip to you guys is just to follow my and other YouTubers videos, and when we upload a video, like let's say I tell you to go and farm for Seal Tomb of Lost Legion, and you go there and there's like a bunch of competition because I just made a video about it. Like, don't get mad, just wait a couple of weeks, maybe months, depending on how popular the spot is, and go back to that spot and you'll have it for yourself. I mean, it's just a heat of the moment thing where people go in to find out and search up videos, and they take the newest video that's promising them to give a high gold per hour, but you gotta keep in consideration that when we're making the guides, nobody else is doing it. Well, a few selected people are doing it, and we have like no competition. So you guys aren't going to be able to pull the same numbers as the people making the guides when we have no competition and you got a fuck ton of competition. So you just don't give up. Keep farming, and unless you own a market and you're the only one delivering the demand, you gotta look into different farms. Don't just farm one item. The trick is not to farm the item, the trick is to sell it. Like, that's the hard part. Everyone can go and farm 10 million gold in item value, but getting it to sell is harder, so you need to be in different markets and farm different stuff. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, I will happily answer every single one of them down in the comment section. And that is basically it. I'm glad I hit 10 million gold. I'm not sure what my next goal is going to be. I'm probably gonna make a video asking you guys what you're interested in and leave like a straw poll where you guys can vote on my next goal. But that's yet again in another video. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, make sure to click subscribe, and I will keep you guys updated with even more gold farming videos. So I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.